Hello everyone and welcome. In today's episode we will be exploring the remains and the history of Millerhill Station and Millerhill Junction. We will be looking at where the junction led to, when the station and the line were last used, and we will be looking at the remains of what is left. So welcome to Exploration Series 3. Millerhill Railway Station was opened in 1849 and was located just north of Millerhill Junction, which opened 2 years earlier in 1847. This station was opened to passengers as part of the Waverley route, which ran from Edinburgh to Hawick via Galashiels. The line was then extended to Carlisle in 1862, which created a number of daily border crossing passenger services between two busy cities. The station design was altered due to the opening of the Longhead and Roslin Railway in 1874. The alteration made was a brand new bay platform which was built to allow easy access into the goods yard from the Roslin branch itself. Passenger services to Roslin via Lonehead were also introduced when this new line was completed. Unfortunately, in 1955, Millerhill Station closed to all passenger services, and then in 1965 closed to all freight services. Both the Waverley route between Edinburgh and Carlisle and the Roslin line were forced into closure due to beaching cuts in 1969. And now we go to present day on the line, where we see the remains of where Millerhill Station used to be. And now we turn round on Millerhill Junction itself and we look down the line towards where the line went to Roslin and Lonehead. And if we look even more straight down the line, we see where the line went to Hawick, Galashiels and Carlisle. And now for the remainder of this video, we follow the junction down towards Lonehead and Roslin. We've now continued to follow the Millerhill yard that leads down to the Bilston Glen line, and I've come across a lovely little treat here. Over here we still have some manual points that require manual switching. As you can make out here, I doubt they're still movable, and I don't even want to try do all the draggy nettles that are around it. But that's a very cool thing to find, and it's nice to see that that still exists. Hopefully it'll get preserved one day, who knows. So just in front of me here we have signal EM9 and signal EM7. Both of these signals led both of these lines into the Millerhill yard. This is where the drivers would await their clearance. And as you can see, as we head along the line towards Bilston Glen, it still remains two tracks that are separated from each other. And of course, through that fence there would have been where the Borders Railway cut off and went down to Tweedbank. It takes quite a curve here, and you can see the second line is now on an incline compared to where we are. That one's a lot higher. Now, I'm not quite sure what happens with the track formation as we get down towards the end of the yard. I'm not sure if it stays as two tracks, if it forms into more, or if it just forms into one. But what I can tell you is that the line down to Bilston Glen was double track. So, in reality, we should have two left at the end. Through the trees there we have signals EM4 and EM6. This is where these two single lines now join together to form the line down to Bilston Glen. It does very much appear that it is single track down to Bilston Glen. Perhaps there's some passing points as you go further down. But yeah, you can see the two signals here. This is where the lines finally join up and make their way down to Bilston Glen. Now unfortunately, not much further from here is the new Borders Railway, which means the remain of this track has now been taken away. In front of me here we have signal EM41. This was the further signal to allow trains into either of the two tracks that we've just walked, which of course means we've now came to the end of the two tracks where they do indeed join up to just be the one track. And if we look ahead, we can see that because of the Border Railway line's construction, the Border Railway line now runs over that embankment where that fence, as you can see. Because of that, they've now just put a nice rail buffer at the end here. but even then it still looked like that's been here for a very long time. So it seems like any remain of the Bilston Glen track itself has been gone for quite some time. Okay, so now we have reached the end of the Millerhill line, where we have this nice old buffer that's been left behind. And of course over that hill there is where the Borders Railway is. Thank you for watching Exploration Series 3 Episode 1. Hope you enjoyed.